Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we plan to talk about cookie policies, how they can help a company build trust over the website visitors, and how they ensure for a website visitor that his personal information is safe and secure. To begin with, we'll talk about the basic definition of data privacy. You have some work for which you need my personal information. It could be a task assigned by me. So when you come and ask me my personal information, now it is my right to choose what personal information do I want to share, how much of it, why am I sharing this with you, and am I allowing you to share it further with anyone else, right? If yes, then what is that third party going to give us as a part of the overall task that is being talked about? Data privacy rules protect me against misuse of my information or inappropriate sharing of my information, and this process wherein you came up to me and you are now obtaining, asking me, documenting it, managing it, what? My permission. My permission for what? For you to collect, process, share my personal information is called consent management. You need to have a consent from the user that I am collecting this information from you, and in case of cookies you collect automatically, you don't ask someone to type it specifically for you. I'm going to process it like this, I'm going to share it, and this is my purpose. That is what is called as consent management. On my channel, you have around 8 videos on consent management, types of consents and all, best practices around forming consent forms. So you can go through them and see how they help you and share your feedback with me. In this video, we are going to continue to talk about cookies. We already have spoken about the basics of cookies, cookie pop-ups and notices. Now we are on cookie policy. For the basics again, cookie is a small harmless text file, and it could be many. Whenever you visit a website and the website creates these text files on your system, they capture your personal information. It could be just a browsing preference, it is the product that you are selecting on e-commerce site, or it may be beyond that as well, right? The basic idea of cookies has always been to improve your browsing experience. You come back to the browser and the same preferences and all are already known to the browser for the given website. But there are third-party cookies wherein people would capture your information to send you marketing ads. And you browse and you are looking at a particular website or an ad of a particular thing on a website, and those cookies get into your system, and now even if you go to social media, site X, Y, Z, it will pick up and start throwing you ads on that particular thing, right? So that is a bit tricky thing, that your personal information is being captured, and it is good for any website company to let you know what is being captured and why it is being captured, what is the purpose of capturing it, right? So what is a cookie policy? So cookie policy is the overall policy of a company. It could be a very big website, not necessarily be a 10-pager, 20-pager product specific. It could be an e-commerce website, right? Large website. So it needs overall system policy guidelines to be followed by its developers and respective departments as to how the website is going to function. So cookie policy is the overall policy for cookie usage, which provides you a list of the cookies in use, detailed information of each of the cookie, what information is collected by the cookie, how is that information collected, for how long would that cookie exist, right? E-privacy GDPR guidelines says no cookie can exist more than 12 months. Fine. So and the developers put an expiry date on the cookie. So for how long are they existing? So the overall information on how am I placing cookies, where am I placing, what am I collecting, how am I processing, how long I'll keep tracking you and your cookies is a part of the cookie policy. And cookie policy and privacy policy are not the same things. Cookie policy can be a part of privacy policy, but it is not necessary to be a part of the privacy policy. What is important is that cookie policy has to be on the website, because cookie policy is purely on cookies that the website puts in, and privacy policy is on how the personal information of users is collected and processed by an organization in general, not necessarily through website. It could be any other application, it could be a manual process, right? So privacy policy is definitely different from cookie policy. Characteristics of a cookie policy: detailed information, transparency, user rights. A user should be informed about his rights absolutely transparently with complete detailed information. That is why you have a big document over there. User should be easily to access this, and it should fulfill all the legal requirements of data privacy using cookies. That is something which is very, very important when it comes to a cookie policy. Essential characteristics include what types of cookies are being used, what data are they capturing, where would this data be transferred or processed, what are the purpose of these cookies, how long will they track the users, and how can the users opt in, opt out. So these are all like the traditional consent form also, and the cookie form or cookie policy is having all that detail. When it comes to cookie consent, it is not a cookie form, it's a cookie pop-up that comes on a website and says, this is how I am capturing and this is the consent I need from you. And we'll come to that in a couple of slides about how cookie policy is different from pop-ups and notices. So, and a very big essential of data privacy, how can the user withdraw his consent at any point in time, right? So consent withdrawal is very important. Now we compare cookie policy with cookie pop-up as well as cookie notice. So cookie pop-up is an interactive window that opens up and says, I am collecting this information and I'm going to use it this way, I'm going to share it this way. Are you okay with me doing this? Accept, reject. If you say accept, processing will happen. If you reject, processing will not happen. Notice just informs you about what all cookies are there on that particular section of the website. So notice is not for the entire area. You are moving in a particular area and you get a notice that this personal information has been captured and is going to be used this way. Fine. And policy, like I mentioned earlier, it is the overall policy how the organization is going to capture cookies and use cookies from their users. Right? So again, pop-up is to ask content, notice is to inform what are we collecting and how are we using it, and policy is the overall policy that does inform you about cookies that may not be visible to you over there. Right? They would be in some other sections and you might sometimes say that I am not even going to visit that section. But then you should go through the cookie policy at least so that you know how data is being used. What are the example scenarios? So as I mentioned, a pop-up that would come up and ask you for a consent, a notice that will come up as a banner and inform you about the consent, and a policy which is a complete policy, a detailed document which as per the GDPR guidelines should be available on footer of each and every page of your website so that the user is aware, he can click, read the policy and be sure about his personal information being used on your website. This is what I had to say about cookies with their pop-ups, notices and policies. I hope you like my content. Press like and bell icon. Subscribe to my channel for more information about data privacy, and also share your feedback in the feedback sections, comment section of the feedback form. Thank you very much.